Hey, what's up? What's going on out there? I'm about to check out this video with Cam Newton. He's going to be talking to this so-called pastor, Jamal Bryant, about why young people aren't going to church anymore. So I'm going to check out the video and leave my commentary.
Is there any facts to new church and old church?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Tell me the name of the church you grew up in.
Holy Zion Center of Deliverance.
Okay. You saw people in town while you were growing up, hey, I go to Holy Zion.
Yes, sir.
This generation doesn't identify the name of the church, they identify the name of the pastor.
Wow.
And I think people are wedded to the individual more than they are the institution,
Oh, wow.
which is very dangerous.
Yes, sir.
Because it puts the pastor in a pedestal that,
It's
quite
not
frankly,
realistic.
we don't belong on.
Correct.
And so I think that we've got to go back to focusing on what is the church. Church had a sense of community, had a sense of family,
Right.
a sense of relatability. So the old church, we called each other brother so-and-so, sister so-and-so.
Correct.
The new church, we networking.
And he has it partially right with the so-called old church. But anybody that reads the good book knows what the church really is. If you read Acts chapter 20 and Acts chapter 7, it talks about what the church really is, especially in Acts chapter 7, where it talks about the Messiah being raised up as a prophet amongst his brethren, like Moses, and he's going to be amongst the church in the wilderness. So that's what the church really is. It's the children of Israel. But he's right about having a sense of community, having a sense of brotherhood, sisterhood, and real community. That's all part of it too. But the real definition of a church, if you want to know what the church is in Acts chapter 7 and chapter 20. You'll find the real answer then. And then he's the type of guy, he's talking about why young people don't go. It's because of, honestly, leadership like him. These effeminate, all over the place type guys are the reason why, the so-called people of the book are erring, really.
We giving out cards, doing deals
yes, sir.
together. But it doesn't have that same sense of family.
Right. As you talk about the whole evolution of church, church used to be a way to trade in regards to, if you did this, I'm talking back in the 40s, 50s, if you had a farm of goat, or you had a farm of crop or whatever, you know what I'm saying? It was an interchange. We also seen church be a place where you could settle civil differences in regards to what the community is actually
Right.
going through.
Yeah.
My fault. Cam actually made a really, really good point right there. Settling disputes amongst ourselves. That's what part of the church is too. And the Messiah talked about that, dealing with your brother. If you have a dispute with your brother, bring it to your brother. If he doesn't see eye to eye when you bring it to a certain amount of people, then you bring it to the church, the real church. And if he doesn't see your point of view after that, just treat him like a debt collector or a tax collector. So Cam is pretty much on point with that. I don't know if he's been reading or what, but he's on point with that.
Also, we looked at the church or the church's leader as the person who speak for the people, almost like a mayor.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And now, I don't know what we look for the church for. Because there's different versions, there's different blends, there's different, all types of different stuff.
Yeah.
But the state of the church for you right now, outside of, the example that you're given, where is that and how do you identify it as?
It's a critical moment. This is the largest demographic of black people. It's the largest demographic of black people since we've been in America who don't go to church. It's the largest swath of black people who say they believe in God, but don't get with church. And so I think the church is going through puberty. It's got to find its voice. It's got to figure out, where are we relevant? Where is the black church on Palestine? Where is the black church on mental health? Where is the black church on same-sex marriage? And the black church.
Again, that's why young people aren't going, because leadership like him are causing, you know, and I'm gonna talk to the good men and the good women out there. Leadership like him are causing people to err. He's talking about same-sex marriage with them folks and Palestine, all this other stuff. Look, I don't like to see the loss of human life, and I don't condone any of that stuff. But you need to focus on what you need to focus on, shepherding up the good men and the good women of the book to help keep them on a righteous path. Because like he's talking about same-sex marriage, like what are you talking about, dog? Like what, like literally, like what the hell are you talking about? Like if he was a so-called a real pastor, he would have cracked open that book and see that type of behavior was completely unacceptable. So I don't know why he's going on about that anyway. It doesn't make any damn sense.
Become muted on issues that matter to this generation. So you ain't gonna say nothing about nothing. You can't just tell people go vote and you ain't telling them why. The white evangelical church has taught the black church a lesson we haven't learned. White evangelical church said, hey, Trump, get rid of Roe versus Wade and get rid of same-sex marriage and we with you. We don't care how many lawsuits. We don't care what it is that you do. We don't care if you groping somebody. Stand 10 toes down on our issues and we there.
Right.
You got to ask black people. If Kamala Harris gets elected, Donald Trump gets elected, we walk in there, what is our ask? Power concedes nothing without a demand. Why is it that every other group can get reparations but black people? And why aren't we holding anybody accountable to get it? What's the demand? That the most progressive black mayor for Atlanta was Maynard Jackson, who made up in his mind that no real business will be done without black people being at the table. Now,
Well, he's talking about reparations, and he just had Kamala at his church. And if my memory serves me correctly, she was the main proponents. Like, she didn't have a plan to give so-called black people anything. So what is he talking about?
now we like looking successful and not really being successful. And so I think that the church has got to figure out, what do we do to reposition ourselves on the board and play chess and not checkers?
But do you blame people for not going to church?
No, I understand it.
Okay, but
The flip side of it,
Okay.
Cam, the flip side of it is black people are not going to church, but they are watching online. So since the pandemic, viewership of faith-based organizations has doubled. So they don't want to get caught in the trappings of, y'all don't want me here because I got a tattoo, because I got piercings. In the churches we grew up in, that skirt got to come past that knee. That toe got to be closed on that shoe. The earring cannot be dangled. Right now,
What he's talking about right now is part of the laws of the Most High. Like, I don't know why, but some dudes get caught up in this, and some people, for some reason, like talking about earrings. If you read the good book, it says, men, you can have earrings and, nose piercings and stuff like that. And for women to dress in a modest fashion, there's nothing wrong with that. That's again, I keep going, hearkening back to this. That's what the real church is. Like, he's making it seem like these are some outer worldly issues. But if he was teaching that, then he would be aligned with the good book. But that's why people aren't showing up, because you want to appease people and telling them, instead of telling them what God's words are. That's the problem.
right now, could not walk in the average apostolic church.
Yes, sir.
Because they're going to fight you at the door, drum roll, over a hat.
Yes, sir.
you got to figure it out.
And women
What
wear
is the yes? So what's the real thing? I remember when I was pastoring in Baltimore, big drug dealer died, got killed, and they had the funeral at my church. Church is packed and jammed, and there's an altercation at the door. I get out of the pulpit, walk to the door, because I'm thinking two different factions getting ready to go at it.
Correct.
Cam, the faction at the door is my ushers trying to fight Negroes because they won't take off baseball hats and sunglasses. I said, are you crazy? This may be the only time I can get them to church. And you fighting over a Ravens hat. Their life is on the line. Their soul is at stake. And so we got to recalibrate what is really important and what is really have value.
All right, that was a interesting discussion with Cam, and like I said, I like Cam's stuff because he has some interesting guests on there, and he allows himself to be open in certain situations about certain things. But with this so-called pastor, like if anybody knows his track record, I mean, we in the flesh, we're going to error, and make mistakes, that's a given. But this man's track record is just full of stumbling blocks, with his, relationship stuff and, all that type of stuff with LGBT, all that type of stuff. But if he was showing, so-called people of the good book what it was really about, a lot of things in the community would be totally different. Like you wouldn't be dealing with a lot of the issues that, plague our community right now. If leadership like him would go out and do certain things and follow the righteousness of the Most High, because it's the truth. And when you follow that truth, it's going to have you on a straight path where you're going to have real direction and you're going to know where you're going. But that's my 1-2 on it. Leave your commentary. Let me know what you think.